Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Matthew Dale, and today we're going to take a look at how to get an independent reverb mix for monitoring when we're only using one reverb block that's available in the FM3. Let's check it out. Alright, so I'm plugged into the FM3 with my McCarty 594, and here is my clean tone. And I've got a heavier tone in here as well. Now, if you want to see my go-to settings for this amplifier as well as 9 other amplifiers with my favorite cabs that go along with those amps, download my Fractal Favorites Amps and Cabs guide. It's in the link in the description below, and it'll show you how to get some great tone out of some great amp models in the Fractal stuff. So you can see my chain here. I've got input 1 into the amp and cab, and then I've got a parallel effects routing on the delay and reverb. I'm going to bypass the delay just so you can hear a little bit of this Recording Studio A reverb. And let's go ahead and bump this up a little bit. And let's engage the delay again, and let's just give this a little bit of a bump. Just so you can really kind of hear what is going on. Now for the sake of this video, we're going to say that I'm running stereo to front of house out of output 1, so this block over here. And then I'm going to run my own personal FRFR monitor on stage out of output 2 in mono. And typically, if we were on like the Axe-FX III or even the FM9, we would probably just split off from the cab block here and go into a new effects routing with, another delay and another reverb, and then just run that to our monitor on stage. But the FM3 doesn't have a second reverb block. So here's a great way to get around this. I am going to drop in output 2, and sometimes the output blocks, the input in the output blocks, don't get as much love as they deserve. Of course, our input block has a really high quality gate that's built into it, and the key to this, our output blocks have built-in mixers. So notice I've got my dry signal going here straight into output 1, and then I've got a parallel route for delay and then a parallel route for reverb. I am going to connect the dots on all of these signal paths straight into output 2, and output 2 is going to be my mono monitor feed. So I'm going to mute front of house, and I'm going to put the monitor feed in like this. And there is what would be going into my monitor. Now, output 2, or all the outputs for that matter, have a mix control. So they correspond to the individual rows on the grid. So this would be row 1 and row 2, 3, and 4. And our drag signal is going to be coming in through row 3. So I'm going to leave that one alone, but let's say I want less reverb and delay, and I've got less reverb and delay. Let's say I want to turn the reverb down quite a bit, and let's just give myself a little bit more delay in this monitor. Or, of course, vice versa. I can really kind of juice up the reverb. And I've got ultimate control of how I want my personal monitor to sound. I don't need to talk to front of house to add in more effects, or even if I alter the effect settings on the unit itself, I'm not kind of screwing around with, what that might sound like front of house. Because typically, if it's a pretty live room, front of house is going to want less wet effects. But in our on our monitor mix and on stage, we might want more, or vice versa, depending on the situation. Let's take this a step further. Output 2, I'm going to hit the perform page, and I'm going to actually take the row 2 and row 4 knobs up here, and we're going to call, let's see, output 2, this is going to be delay, and this is going to be verb. So that way, when I just go over to the unit here, I can select how much of each I want, and that can make it really, really easy to dial in my monitor sound on stage. There is one other great tip that I want to share with you. So this might be what we want our clean tone to sound like. Nice wet effects. But maybe for this lead tone here, maybe I've got a little bit too much. Why don't I go over to channel B like I have selected over here, and I can select channel B on the output to give me, let's do less, and I can actually do this on the perform page. Let's do a little less reverb, and let's do a little bit more delay for my lead tone. So now when I go over to my clean tone, I'm on channel A, and then if I go over to my lead tone, I'm on channel B with a new mix. And then of course, you can wash, rinse, and repeat. Go ahead and plop these up on the perform pages if you want quick access to these at a venue. This is a great way to dial in your own monitor tone when you are working with FRFR and your own effects. Let me know if you have used the output mixer like this before, and don't forget, if you want some of my go-to killer amp tones, to download my Fractal Favorites Amps and CADs guide. Again, it is in the description below. I'll see you guys on the next one.